don't have empathy, then you can't live by the golden rule.
I would
Thought
say
leadership,
that's...
Michael.
Whoa, some bitch.
Seriously.
Some
if you don't
bitch.
have,
That's good. Repeat that, please.
If you don't have empathy, you can't live by the golden rule. You can't treat other people like you want to be treated because you don't get it. That doesn't connect. You can't make that connection.
We need to trademark that.
Really?
Yeah.
Our first trademark?
Yeah, I think it's for treatment.
There you go.
Yeah, we use that.
As a just a little taste of what you
We'll
get.
Put
here.
them on buttons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Leave your smugness at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
Welcome to Carl and Mike.
Are you ready?
I am. Episode 11.
11?
My least favorite number.
You know, at some point we're going to miss. It's going to be somewhere between level 67 and 72. We're going to miss a number.
We're going to miss a number?
Yeah, we'll have to go back in and re-edit it. We'll just see if anybody's paying attention.
I don't think they really care.
No, I really don't think they give a shit.
But here's what I want to say about 11.
What?
I don't like the number.
You like the number?
I don't.
You don't like the number?
No.
Well, it doesn't.
You know why? It's the end of creativity. Up till then, we had 1 through 10. We have interesting hieroglyphics going on. Then we get to 11, and we say, fuck it. We're just going to repeat ourselves all the way through the rest of eternity.
Well, the only thing number 11 is good for, if you say, let's see, issue a 1 through a 10, and you go, oh, dude, she's 11. That's about the only thing I can.
Yeah, and I don't usually do that. I just usually go to 10.
I mean, if Diane Keaton was a 10, who's an 11?
Yeah, there's no 11.
No, there's no 11.
So anyway, that's what I have to say about 11.
Well,
How's
that's
it
not
going?
bad. Huh?
How's it going?
It's going good. I want to start out. I want to give a recognition, kind of a welcome to Fraser in Brooklyn. It's a friend of Pear's that is actually listening. I have 2 of the 3 kids that are actually listening.
2 of the 3? That's
2 of
pretty
the 3.
good.
One's just not, and Nita still hadn't listened to anything.
Nita's not listening either?
No, she says I have to listen to your shit all the time anyway, so I don't, the last thing she wants to do is repeat.
Yeah. I don't think Suzanne's listening. She occasionally listens when she's in the same
in your
room
case,
and I'm
it
editing.
may be a good idea.
You think?
Yeah.
What are you saying? You saying if she heard?
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to say thanks, Fraser, for listening. Fraser was most upset when the Scottish independence failed. He was all for it.
He was all for that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that would have gone good for them.
I don't know. I mean,
really?
It's his country. I don't.
Oh,
it's,
that's
yeah,
true. I don't know
it's
much
let
about
them do
it.
what they want to do, and I think it's if they want to do that, that's great. And I got to think about this coming over here. What about if everybody busted up to small entities that couldn't afford militaries?
Well, did you see?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, but
Hey,
did you
we
see?
can't afford a submarine.
Did you see Mississippi wants to become a Christian state? So they're a bunch of. There's a group out there that are going to push for being declared a Christian state in Mississippi.
Nothing really surprises me about Mississippi.
Really?
No. I just,
A strange little state is what you're saying?
Yes.
I don't know if I've really spent any time in Mississippi. I can't recall.
Well, I just remember going there when I was a kid to visit my grandmother. I mean, because she lived in Jackson. Dad was born and raised in Jackson. Mom lived there a big part of her life, too. And it's just it's a different world.
Yeah.
I mean, that's full bore south.
That's as south as you can get.
Yeah, that's
more than
the
Alabama.
South. Alabama, Mississippi, man, they couldn't join twins.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's just that's what it is down there, and it's completely different. I remember when we moved out to Los Angeles, everybody found out we were from Texas. They'd go, "Oh, you're from the South." We go, "No,
We're from Texas.
we're from Texas." There's a big difference between Texas and South.
What is the difference between Texas and the South? Because some people, I think, would say Texas is part of the South.
Texas is just independent of the South. They're
Pretty
independent
it's
of
pretty
it.
red. We got.
Oh, it's red, but it's just it ain't the South. I don't know. It's not. I don't know what the difference is.
I think there's more of an independence streak in terms of
yeah,
not being joined to anything.
Yeah.
Did they? I forget where were they on the Civil War?
Oh, they were in the South.
They were Confederates?
Yeah, they were
All right,
Confederates.
so they're South.
Well, no,
As
you
a
can't say,
Yankee Midwestern, I'm going to say Texas is the South.
Yeah, but would you say?
I know how I like to say they're Southwest.
Well, wasn't Virginia part of the South?
Yeah.
Okay, would you consider it part of the South? No.
Virginia is...
There's a big gap between
Virginia's
Virginia
kind of where north
and
and south.
Mississippi.
Yeah, I guess
Mississippi would consider that's where the carpetbaggers come from.
Ah.
Yeah. Mississippi is just leave those people alone down there. Let them
Well,
do what
Texas
they're
is like
going
its
to do.
own little country. 'Cause you pretty
Well,
much you get
there
a
are
little
people
bit of
that
everything.
wish it was. Yeah.
You get a little bit of everything in Texas. From Austin, which is a very creative, liberal mecca, if you will, to East Texas, which is just a little south of Arkansas in more ways than one.
Yeah, and not too far west of Louisiana.
Yes.
So,
But I'm sure we have listeners all over. So
see, I like Louisiana. There's something about Louisiana that's different
like
from
Louisiana.
Mississippi. Louisiana has got the
Louisiana has
the
some attitude,
Cajuns
too.
and
Yes,
the
that Cajun
it's got
element.
that Cajun and coon asses down in the South, and that is
got New
some
Orleans.
cool stuff.
great little town.
Yeah. Zoe had a really good friend from Louisiana, Shelley, and she her family is from that area, and it's a real strong kind of identity in and of itself, and it's I don't know, I like it.
Speaking
I think
of,
I like the people.
I posted recently a little video of this series out in Norway or Finland. It's called the Norden.
Oh, that guy!
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
So the concept is they went and got a little Bible thumper from the Georgia who believes in 7 days and everything's literal. A literal. There's a hell and everything's just the way it's said. There is no, and brought him to Finland and Norway and which is fairly secular. I thought that was really fascinating
Well, it's
to see
secular
his
and non-believing.
right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very interesting concept to take because the concept in a couple ways. Number one, on the surface, it's a very it's not a crime-ridden state. It's white. Everything kind of
Would prefer to stay that way, I'm sure.
looks fairly normal.
Looks
in
almost
terms
like Mississippi with water.
yeah, and a little colder probably.
And colder.
And so they put this guy there, and he starts talking to the people about their religious beliefs, and I thought that was fascinating. What's fascinating to me was, and I had kind of an aha on this. There's at some point that shows, like, the question is religion important to me? Like in Norway, it was like 25%. In Finland, it was 28%, and it was like in the 20s. And then they said the U.S. 65% religion is important to me, and it kind of, and I would say here in Texas probably would go up to 75%, 80%.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me that we really are a Christian nation.
Yeah.
Much more so
yeah.
than I guess I realize. And so part of that makes sense to me why we're in Iraq and we're in the Middle East. A lot of times
You think you're still fighting the Crusades?
Well, for a while there, I thought it was all about the oil.
Yeah.
And there's definitely there's an element there of that. But you know what? We're making our oil. We got the fracking going on. We're making our oil. We got Obama in there. And we're still there.
Yeah.
And there is an element of, and I don't think it's even necessarily conscious, though it could be. I don't know. I don't live in the deep Christian world. But there is an element of that. You don't see, there is an element of a religious thing going on here.
Oh, I think so.
There is no reason to be there. Jon Stewart had Samantha Power on the show a week ago or so.
Love her.
And asked her, why are we, basically, why do we need to be there, And she didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
I mean, she gave talking points.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, you always can tell when someone's giving talking points that they don't have an answer. So look for that. If they go to the talking points, they either aren't thinking, aren't listening, or they don't have an answer. And she didn't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Because it is a regional thing at the end of the day. It's Saudi Arabia's problem. It's Iran's problem. It's Syria's problem.
Yeah.
It's that region's problem.
Yeah.
That region should work it out. And we've elevated this ISIS thing, I think, a little bit too much. They are brutal. They are, no doubt about it. But they're small potatoes. And
they want us drawn in.
Yes.
They're doing
and
everything they can to draw us in.
There's no reason to be in there.
You know, because,
I don't buy the argument that, we got to fight them there to keep them away from here.
There was a real interesting thing yesterday on Joe in the Morning, and Mika's dad, Zbigniew Brzezinski, was on, and I love this old guy. Man, he has got a mind like a steel trap. And he was talking about Joe, or somebody said, "Why don't we just go in and arm the Kurds and be done with it?" And he goes, "Well, no, let me explain to you why we don't arm the Kurds."
Really? Because I would say that's not a bad idea.
Well,
why?
Because the Turkey's fighting the Kurds.
Yeah, I got that. They don't like
and that's
them.
not just a tribal thing. He said a huge part of the population of Istanbul is Kurdish.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're worried about the people rising?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just on the borders. Most of these skirmishes tend to be border battles. It's like when, it's not quite like independence like Fraser wants with Scotland. It's kind of like what Catalonia wants or the Basque region of Spain. They always seem to be right on the border. It's something. We're not really part of you. We're part of our own self. We're not a part of the people across the border. It's one of those kind of things. And Kurds really want their own deal. And, there's Iranian Kurds, there's Iraqi Kurds, Turkish Kurds, Syrian Kurds. So you'd have to strip away a little bit of land on all those people. And Iran's not going to cough up any land. Turkey doesn't want to cough up any land. Iraq would probably just as soon be fine, giving it to them.
Yeah, nobody in this day and age wants to give up land.
Yeah, no. So they go out and fight for it. And it's like we've talked about before. That's a Duke Fest with two neighbors on 3 streets over. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't want my kids going over there. Don't want anybody else's kids going over there. But they're everybody's itching. People who've got the itchy trigger fingers are itching to put more people in there and fight. And typically it's not going to be any of their kids or their relatives that go do that. The ones that are talking.
Yeah.
They're not the ones that are going to be sending people. I just don't want to go over there.
I had a real ha-ha, and this is going to be a controversial statement.
You had a lot of ahas.
Well, I did.
Do they hurt?
I'm a thought leader, Michael.
You're
you forget from episode
right.
2.
Okay.
So I had another and this is going to be a controversial one, but it occurred to me, we've always talked about world peace, and this strive for it. I remember being in Catholic Church, we prayed for it, about world peace. It occurred to me, I think world peace is going to happen when the world, for the most part, becomes secular as opposed to religious.
I think that would help, but I think, yes.
Because here's why, a couple things. So I think that's ironic because the way I was taught as a little boy Catholic growing up, it's kind of like world peace is going to happen when everybody gets Jesus, or world peace is going to happen when
everybody becomes Catholic.
When everybody becomes Catholic or whatever. There's this element of world peace is going to happen through religion. And I think it's actually the opposite. I think world peace is going to happen as religion subsides.
Well, just think about the number of people that have been killed in the name of religion. I mean, that's what is going on right now, even between the Sunnis and the Shias, but also between the Sunnis and other Sunnis, or Sunnis and Jews, or Sunnis and Christians, or Sunnis and just anybody other than them.
Right, because if you were secular, if a country's secular, number one, they're going to want to just trade. They're going to want to do business, right? They don't have this, my religion's the right way and you're wrong and you're the other and all that. I mean, I think they're going to do business together and they're going to trade, and there's no point in war is kind of a stupid thing. The only time, really, unless there's just a brazen thing like with the Putin,
love the Putin.
War
the shirtless one.
really comes around religion a lot, still today. And every once in a while, I mean, you look at Hitler and say, no, you could argue that the other way. But Hitler was a long time ago. Technology is much stronger.
Well, Hitler was a long time ago, but I think that human attitudes haven't changed that much.
So you're disagreeing with me that if religion was, if the question religion is important to me was at 28% in the United States, like it is in Finland or Norway or some of these other countries, which, by the way, you don't see them jumping into war.
No, I think if it
would
no, I agree with you. I think
every country was around 20%, which religion is important to me, would there be? How would the world change? Would it be a better place or a worse place?
I think it would be a better place. I think it would, just like you said. I think Norway. If you look at those areas up there, they seem to be pretty calm.
Yeah.
But there's other religions where they seem to be real calm. I mean, you don't see Buddhists, with the exception of, what is it, Myanmar? Where they've got
some Buddhists there.
That are arming, which is, and I sit there and I go, that's just crazy. You never heard of that. But, for the most part, they're pretty peaceful kind of folk.
Right.
And so I think there's other people that are real peaceful. It's only... and they're not sending out missionaries trying to convert people to Buddhism.
Right.
I haven't had anybody knock on my door.
Right. The only really, even the Catholics don't do that. I mean,
No.
It's really evangelist Christians and Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons.
Yeah.
And Mormons I can understand because you got a pretty young religion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's evangelism in a religion, because they need to build the troops up.
Speaking of Mormons, you've been reading about Joseph Smith, and it turns out that he had about 40 wives, and one as young as 14. I mean, if he was doing that today, the guy would be thrown in prison.
Yeah. There's a...
I'm not just talking about the 40 wives. I mean, the 14-year-old, and he's marrying other friends' wives.
Well,
They're already married.
How that whole religion got born anyway from that guy is pretty
that's
amazing.
really starting to sound, I don't know,
Crazy?
cultish.
Do you got the underwear?
Huh?
Yeah.
I do.
The other thing I think, which I realized from that show, and another aha on this, was I think religious people in general, I'm going to make another general statement, probably I can see our subscribers cutting away here.
I don't think there's a lot of Mormons listening to begin with.
I think whether it's Mormons or not, I think someone with a strong religious bent believes that if they didn't have Jesus, that mankind's basically wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In Catholic, it's called the original sin, right? But there's an element...
Do they have that branded?
Yeah, we do. It's
You
a
do?
trademarked.
Oh, okay.
Catholic, the original sin.
So Catholics got
We got the
copyright.
original
Y'all have
sins.
copywriters?
No, we
It's
probably
probably
don't.
some of the original copywriters.
It probably was, yeah. E pluribus unum.
Did they write? Did they write the line? What was it? The oldest profession?
No, I don't think so.
You sure?
Well, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway,
I think those are Lutherans.
Oh.
But anyway, so I think that which I don't have that belief. I think humans are basically good. Are there exceptions to the rule? Sure.
that's a very unchristian-like thought.
But the humans are basically good?
Yes.
See, do you... I
Oh,
believe
no, I
I'm
agree.
basically
No,
good.
No, I think
believe-
anybody that's given birth to kids
Yeah.
and watched their inherent goodness,
Yes.
and for somebody to say they were born sinners is just, that's the height of arrogance and ignorance, and we need to mock it right now.
We're mocking it right now.
Mock.
Because I do. I think they believe that. They don't believe if you're not Christian, the whole society's going to hell in a handbag.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this: that to me, if a kid's been abused, there's been a lot of fucked upness, and there's a few kids that are just, I don't know. It could be on a spectrum thing with the brain or whatever. They're in prison or whatever, and then Jesus comes along and saves them, and they need to utilize that to stay as a good person. In other words, but I think that's a small percentage of the population. I even think this Christian pastor from pastor.
A pasture of Christians.
This Christian pastor is basically a good person.
Put the Christians out to pasture?
Well, I'm not even going there.
Okay.
But I think he's basically a good person. I don't think he needs Jesus to be a better person.
Oh, you mean the guy that went to Scandinavia? Yeah,
I'm
no.
saying and I think there's a belief there that without Jesus, you're just a sinner and you're just going to do all sorts of bad things. I just don't buy that.
Well, but there's, I don't get it either. I really don't get that.
Anyway, that's my ahas. I'm pretty much out of ahas, so I hope you got something because we're only about 20 minutes into this show.
Well, and I do think you're right. The idea of or even if you maintain religions around the world, if people would just dial it back.
Yeah.
Why is it so important that you have to believe that you need to? What is so important that you
have to get it into the state?
Yeah,
that you have to take over the local school boards.
You've got the answer for everybody. Why do you need to think that you have the answer for everybody and you want to take that answer to them and give them the opportunity to become like you? Mm-hmm. Why is that important? Why can't you just learn to enjoy and celebrate the differences of people around the world? Their religions, their beliefs, their and some of the things, I granted, are just really hard for us to understand. Genital female mutilation. The idea that women can't drive in Saudi Arabia, although they're rattling the cages again on that one, or there's different kinds of things like that are cultural around the world that we.
I agree, and I think it's crazy that women can't drive in Saudi Arabia, but I don't think it's my place. If that society is buying into that, including the women, if the women in Saudi Arabia are on the streets, okay, I'd throw them some support on social media or whatever. But if everybody's happy with it, then I can celebrate the differences of that. I don't understand it at all.
It doesn't mean you have to like it or accept it or anything else.
I don't have to kill them.
No, you don't have to kill them. You don't have to be spending a bunch of money to try and change their world. They're not
right.
I just. That's the part that drives me.
And I think there's a lot, so I want to say this. In my business travels, I remember I took a course from a lady named Danny Johnson. And Danny Johnson's very evangelical. But this wasn't about that. It was around success and principles of being successful in business and things like that. And she used, a lot of her teaching came from her, was from the Bible or what have you. And I could appreciate a lot of that the Bible, for a lot of people, they find a lot of positive stuff out of it. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
With it, I could sift through. I got a lot of pearls out of her, even though she came at it from that. So I can appreciate the differences. It's not like I'm probably, as I get older, become more, well, I've said before, agnostic and secular.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate I'm fine with the Christians being Christian.
Yeah, you just, it's like
what I'm not fine is them not being fine with me not being.
Yeah. Well, I've said to some of my Christian friends, and this drives them nuts, which is probably the reason I do it, is I said, you can take the Bible and chunk it, burn it, and you can keep one thing out of it. If you keep one thing out of the Bible, and that's the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about right here. Yeah. You don't want people coming over here fucking with your way of life? Don't go over there and fuck with their way of life.
Right. And that's the problem, really, is what this is, if you look at it. They're doing atrocious things, but it all comes down to they are violating the golden rule on their... Yeah. They don't. It's not enough for them to just have their way. They've got to have your way.
I would think that there's going to be you're going to be hard pressed to find any culture that would disagree with that concept.
Yeah.
You may find factions within it that are radicalized or fundamentalists that don't agree with that or try and twist it to their own thinking. But I think when it gets down to it, that's pretty simple copy. There's no words there that can be added or subtracted to make that any more powerful than what it is.
Yeah. So you don't need the Ten Commandments, live or die without them?
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, like this. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. Well, if you don't want to have him covet yours, don't covet his.
Well,
Thou shalt not kill. Don't steal. Same bullshit over and over and over again. So all they did was they take the golden. Again, this is they have a general really good concept that's nice and simple. But what they do is they turn a room full of writers loose, and then they blow it out to 10 commandments.
You're going with the writers again,
I'm
aren't
going
you?
with the writers. Somebody wrote that shit.
Oh.
Did somebody not write that? It wasn't a
The
designer
designers
wrote
put it
that.
on a tablet.
Huh?
Went
No,
that
we
whole
were
route.
busy coming up with the fish.
Yeah, were you?
You're
doing the fish stuff. Okay. Yeah, so I see you on bumper stickers all the time. Your handiwork. So, folks, this is what you get here with Carl and Mike. We talk about the things people
They're
don't
important.
usually talk about.
Yeah, and so while we're talking about copywriting and design, I have to say, I want to congratulate an advertiser who has changed their spokesperson and really has done an incredible job. These are things I see on TV commercials, and just in the last few weeks. Changed their spokesperson and really made a competitive distinction between them and their other two main competitors.
And who might this be?
Viagra.
Viagra?
Dude, have
What?
you seen that Viagra chick?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, holy shit. She's an English soap opera star. I had to Google her, so that's what I found out. She's coming on, and she's in this she's this beautiful blonde, gorgeous eyes.
All right.
Dressed in something real thin, just talking into the camera, real close-up shots of her, talking in her accent, real soft English accent, about ED, erectile dysfunction, and
They seem to be
what this.
showing a lot of those commercials to you.
Yeah, well, it's the stuff that I watch. The programs, the news programs that I watch, they've got that, or
Anyway, go
something
on.
Anyway,
So what is this? What is this?
or
Viagra?
diapers.
What is this Viagra babe
Oh
doing?
man, she's just sitting there talking, and I found myself
What do you mean
just
she's
being.
talking?
She's talking to me, Carl. She is talking to me.
And what is she saying to you,
She's
Michael?
saying, "Oh,
Come
come
on,
to
baby."
me." Oh yeah, well that's
Really?
what it is. She is seduced.
She's turning you on?
She,
Which reminds you that you don't.
duh.
Which reminds you that you need the Viagra. Is that the idea of the campaign?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not sure you need the Viagra if you just close your eyes and think about her. But the other two commercials, Levitra and Cialis, are these different couples, these vignettes, these different
so it
couples
never happens.
walking on the beach or sitting
in the
together
bathtub
in
in a
bathtubs.
park.
Yeah, in a park.
Which always happens.
Or going for a little boat ride or something like that. And I'm going, no. She's lounging and she's talking to me. She's going, she is a seductress.
She is. I have not. Now
She
you're making
is.
me want to
She
see
is
the
a
Viagra
siren.
commercial.
She was going.
Come to me.
Come to me. Come to me.
Wow.
And so I'm going. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, serious. I mean, of the three commercials, I bet you money
Well,
that
see,
one of those two is going to switch the way they do
Really?
it because, oh yeah,
It's that effective.
It's that effective. Well, it is for me, and I can't believe that it's not, because those are all targeted at men.
Yeah, because if Suzanne and I were walking in a park and came across a bathtub, and I said, "Hey, let's get in the bathtub together," she'd be going, "It's dirty," and you don't know
she'd
who's
wanna
been there
plant
before,
flowers in it or
yeah,
something like
or
that,
whatever.
yeah.
It ain't never gonna.
No, it's not gonna
We're not
happen.
gonna jump in the bathtub together.
No,
But we did jump in the bathtub together at the house where they shot that Meryl Streep, Clint Eastwood movie, Bridges of Madison County.
Oh, really?
I have been
What, did
there.
you touring that?
We
What
were in
is it?
it's a farmhouse. Yeah.
Where? Up in Iowa?
Yeah, in Iowa.
So that passes for a tourist attraction in Iowa?
It was kind of cool. It's the house that they
Or
shot the
do
movie in.
Do they charge you extra to hop into the tub? Or do
No,
they
but I have a
somebody
picture
there
of
to take
me
a
and
Oh, so
Suzanne
they
in
have
the
somebody
tub.
taking a picture of you in the tub?
I don't remember who took the picture. I think
Somebody
it was.
did.
Yeah, it was nice. It was fun.
Oh, that's
Anyway, I
very
got-
cool. I think, but see, yeah,
I got sidetracked on that.
But see, that I think that's one of those two companies, Cialis, or because it's got to.
You're saying
it's
Viagra's
got to
that
move.
effective?
It's got to move. This
Here,
new
well, here's- I wanna
spokesperson
just
is
give
going
a
to
little-
move the needle on sales.
I wanna give a
It's
little-
going to move the needle on
I
sales.
want to give a little public service on this. If you need Viagra, Cialis, or whatever, that is a precursor to heart problems. First thing you need, because your circulation is off there. So the first thing you need to do, if you're suffering that, besides running to the store to get Viagra, go see your doctor because you're on the path
Yeah.
to heart problems.
Yeah.
So men, take note, and that's my little public service
It's a
announcement.
circulation thing.
So now you've got your favorite advertisers: Viagra, Costco, and Duluth
Yes.
Trading Company. We've got a.
Yeah,
Speaking of Costco,
And this is not necessarily a sponsorship thing with Viagra, although, if they want to throw some cash this way or some samples, bring them on.
yeah,
Anyway, go ahead.
you're shilling for Viagra now,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, whatever.
I wanted to give out a little Costco deal that I've come across. I'm very
really?
excited about.
What?
And you got to go online for this, Costco Online. So, I recently talked about stupid tax in the past, and the biggest stupid tax being gym memberships, right? Where I was paying $90 a month for my gym membership and going once
twice.
a month.
Yeah, once.
So I was coming out about $90 for that little visit. And it was a fine gym. I mean, it had, it had the hair salon, and it was like a mall.
It doesn't
was
matter
like a
what
mall.
the
It wasn't
gym
even
is.
a
Oh,
gym.
yeah.
There was a hair salon. There was a restaurant.
Where is that, out in far north Dallas
It was
somewhere?
far north Dallas.
God.
So
Anyway.
I let that go as part of my stupid tax. But I still, I need to go to the gym. Being as I get older, the need for exercise is coming along. So I found out on Costco, 24-Hour Fitness, which is a pretty big chain. If you go to Costco.com, you can get a 2-year membership at a 24-Hour Fitness for $336
For 2 years?
for 2 years. So go to Costco.com and get that,
Dude,
folks.
that's $15 a month?
That's exactly right.
Whoa. See, and I didn't even use a calculator.
You didn't. I was impressed.
I
by
didn't
that.
use my phone.
No, I've got the
I didn't
coupon.
use-
So they mail you the coupon. So I've had the coupon for a couple weeks now.
What's the kill date on the coupon?
Well, I've got 2 years. Right?
Oh, okay. 2 years to cash it
No,
in.
I don't know how that
there's
works.
going to be a kill date on that. You better rush home. As soon as you get home, you need to look at that coupon. It was probably yesterday
See, well,
was
now
the kill date.
I'm torn because I know I need to go to the gym, but
Yeah.
right now I just like to look at the coupon. But anyway, $336.
And you can just get the coupon at
and it's at
Costco?
at Costco. No, you got to go online.
Oh, okay.
But it's a 2-year membership at 24-Hour Fitness, and which I checked 24-Hour Fitness wasn't even close to what you could get.
Wow, that's cheap.
So thank you, Costco, one of our friends of Carl and Mike. That they don't know they're friends yet.
The big boxing of fitness.
Yeah,
That's actually a good thing.
it is a good
That's
thing
very good
because
thing.
you should get fit.
Yeah.
He says.
Yeah.
Well, I get fit. I rode that bike across Iowa,
Yeah.
so I gained 5 pounds on that trip, which is really hard to do.
How do you gain 5 pounds?
You know, how
on a
do you
long
gain
distance
5?
bike?
I
It's
have
all
no
the
idea.
pie at the stops.
Well, the damn pies are bad, yes, and of course the pork chop on a stick. I'm talking about folks. You probably don't know this. Previous to this show, I
chop
rode
on a stick.
Ragbri, which is a
What's
bike
it
ride.
called?
Ragbri, which is the biggest bike race, biggest bike ride in the country across the state of Iowa, and gained weight on that trip. Yeah, it's hard to do. My metabolism is finely tuned, Michael.
How often do they have the pie stops?
Every 10 miles. There's about 400 miles, so do the math.
Can you just slow down and grab a fried pie on the fly?
Well, you can when they've got like food on a stick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like egg on a stick. They have egg on a stick in the morning.
Egg on a stick?
Yeah. Well, it's hard boiled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't be
Oh,
if
man.
you punched an egg.
So
that
you
wasn't
got people
hard-boiled,
riding down the highway eating hard-boiled eggs off a stick
and pork chops.
and pork chops.
Well, they don't eat that much on the sticks, but it's a buffet. It's a 400-mile ride with a buffet every 10 miles.
Do they have
basically.
somebody coming in behind and picking up the sticks that they drop along the way, or do they have trash cans where you can...
Bicyclists are very conscientious, Michael.
So what do they do with the stick when they get through with the egg?
Well, you put it in your little pockets that you have before you, and then get rid of it at the next stop.
Oh, okay.
Technically. Anyway, I digress.
Technically.
So my goal next week is to go to the gym and turn in the coupon and start my 2-year of
That's
working
actually
out.
a real good idea. I mean, that's a good...
Yeah, because 24-Hour Fitness, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're a fairly big chain.
Yeah. No, it is a big... I mean, you can go anywhere.
$15
You can go
a
to
month,
any of them.
really.
You're not just locked into
No,
one. You can
no.
go to any
Matter of
other
fact,
kind
it's the sport version, so you get it's a better. They have like 3 levels of clubs, and the sport one is in the middle. That means that usually they has a steam rooms or whatever.
They have a VIP
I don't know. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
I've never been to 24-hour fitness. But are you? Now I know you do yoga.
Yeah. And just working outside. I don't.
You probably don't need. You're in good shape. You're
I
in
want
much
to-
better shape than I am.
Well,
What's your secret?
I don't actually. I
I
need to
take
be
that
in
back.
better.
You're way less than I am. I
Yes.
may be in better shape.
Yeah, no. This last year, most of the weight I was losing was from building a deck and working outside.
That'll do it.
Oh, it drops it in a heartbeat. That and eating correctly.
See, I figured out my problem because I don't really. I eat pretty.
See,
healthy.
there's another stupid tax.
There is.
Yeah,
What's that?
eating shit that's bad for you, and it's a double-sided stupid
You're right.
tax because it's not only bad for you health-wise, but it costs you extra money. So you're paying money to eat bad calories. Wouldn't that be a stupid
you're saying a
tax?
box of Cocoa Puffs are
No, that's
or-
like stupid tax.
stupid tax?
Stupid tax.
So you're saying you're paying for it in more ways than what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably right on that. Well, I'm working on it.
Cocoa Puffs.
It's this kid thing.
It's a kid thing?
It's like having chocolate milk, but not.
Oh, then you drink the milk at the end.
It's really
because
the
you
milk
gotta
at
have
the
that.
end. Yeah.
But that's not really good chocolate, is it?
I was a poor child in the Midwest, Michael. We didn't have a lot of
So
money.
it was Cocoa Puffs and Jello
You
molds?
want some chocolate milk? Yeah, Mama can't
You-
afford that.
yeah,
Just
you
throw
make
some
it-
Cocoa Puffs in there. We worked our way up. We started lower middle class.
Yeah.
Went to middle class.
What do you have in middle class? That's when you use the Bosco or something
Little
like
middle
that?
class. Yeah, the Bosco's there, man.
Bosco.
And
We never did Bosco.
And right around Thanksgiving, you'd get the eggnog,
We never had-
or a bottle of chocolate milk.
We didn't do Bosco, but Mom always had a can
Yeah.
of Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Which-
And, it's back when you had to open the can with a church key. So it's
Right.
got like two little things in it, and you just keep it open like that in the refrigerator and kind of pour out when you need. It just
Yeah,
it
chocolate
was
milk
nasty.
I remember going to my grandparents' house, and my grandmother.
And that on ice cream too. Yeah. Yeah. And what?
She would actually buy chocolate milk in a bottle,
Ooh.
which was,
Oh, that's a treat.
oh yeah.
Yeah, but see, grandparents.
She'd make me a
do
ham
that.
sandwich and chocolate milk. Boom, I was.
Grandparents
She was the
do
greatest
that. They'll-
grandparent.
They spoil
Yeah.
you. They
Do they?
give you. Oh yeah, you give them shit. Oh yeah, my
Yeah,
grandparents.
I had the greatest grandparents
Yeah.
ever. Yeah. So
Yeah, we used to go whenever we'd go visit my mom's parents out in Abilene. One of the things they always had is they always had plenty of ice cream with chocolate syrup, Hershey's chocolate syrup, and cherries, those like fluorescent red cherries with that sweet cherry sauce, and it was always a special deal to get the ice cream, chocolate syrup on top, and then put two of those cherries, and then get a little bit of cherry syrup on it. I mean, it just the thought of it now is making my back teeth hurt.
yeah, my grandparents would give me 50 cents, and I could go down the street
Yeah.
from their house, and they had one of those old-fashioned 50 diners things, and they would make these sundaes with this kind of nutty chocolate concoction.
Yeah,
It's just heaven.
yeah, that's what grandparents do.
Yeah. God bless their souls.
Yes, 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 yes.
What else is going on?
What else is going on?
Well, immigration last night.
Oh yeah, that was good. Oh,
Yeah, did you listen?
No,
Did you
actually,
watch?
I
I
didn't.
thought it
I
was a
did
good
not
speech.
watch it. Made a conscious effort not
Oh,
to
really?
watch it
Why's
'cause
that?
we were trying to catch up on Homeland
Oh.
reruns.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just
It was a good speech.
it was.
Yeah. The problem is immigration is a mess, and it needs to get fixed, and Congress isn't fixing it. And there was not going to be any chance. Let's get it straight. With this new Congress, wasn't going to magically fix it because
No.
that was more of the same that blocked it.
Yep.
But I love the Emperor Obama and the
Oh, they're going to
executive
start doing
action.
that. No, I started hearing that a few weeks ago from my mom. She started that. Those have been talking points, I think, with the Republicans for a while.
well, let
King
me
and
let me-
Emperor and everything else.
Let's talk
Unpack
these
this.
points.
Unzip this.
Obama's done 33 executive actions. FDR was 249.
Ooh.
Teddy Roosevelt was in the hundreds. So give me a break on this executive action thing. The argument, and the argument that Obama's executive action is going against the will of Congress, whereas George Bush and Reagan, when they did it, was enhancing what Congress had done.
Yeah.
That's their argument.
Yeah.
And, well, the Senate passed it. 68 to 32.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the House,
That it
crazies,
stopped.
and it would have passed in the House. It would have been brought up for a vote. So
Where's
let's don't make the argument.
The majority of the House is what?
Republican?
Republican.
Yeah. So let's not, and it would have passed in the House if the leadership would have, but the leadership's afraid of their rabid 20% in there.
Oh, the rabid 20%. It's going to get good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So
gonna
they're gonna.
really,
How crazy are they gonna go in response to this Obama thing? Because they've already laid the groundwork. You know, he's an emperor way beyond his. I mean,
Well, I think they're going to have to. I think they're going to have. They're going to go crazy. I think.
Are they?
Yeah, I really think they are. You know, it's interesting. As far as immigrants, just in general, I am really in awe and admire people that have the courage to leave behind their family and their home country to go anywhere for a better life for themselves and their kids. And I think that takes, those are the strongest. So I think when you got people like that come into this country, you're getting the strongest.
the strongest of that country.
The strongest
Because they
of
have
that
the fortitude.
country. They have the fortitude to go, no,
Okay, I'm gonna
this
get
is
a better
not
life.
working. I know I can get a better life for myself and my kids
Yeah.
somewhere else. Let's say, I don't know, United States. And we're going to pack it up and we're going to leave our family, not knowing whether we'll
Probably
ever see them again.
We may die on the way.
We may die on the way. And if we get on the other side, we're not going to be able to easily come home. So if mom gets sick or dad gets sick or they die, we're not going to be able to come down for funerals. And I think
that's a really good point.
you have. I think people that are that way, and it really doesn't matter whether. I mean, because really, when we're talking about illegal immigration, that's just people from south of the border.
Yeah,
I
there ain't
don't-
no fence on Canada.
No. They're not bitching about Canadians, or they're not bitching about Indians, or people from China or any place else. They're just south of the border folks. And
So there's a prejudice there. So you're saying?
yeah, well, I think there's definitely a prejudice there, but I think there's also just that's kind of a catch-all for that. And so these people are coming, and it's like all I know the folks that the guy that cuts our yard, Jose, and his family. Now because of this, they're going to be able to,
Not live in fear.
right. These guys work harder than anybody I know.
Yeah.
I mean, they work their
really bring up-
ass
this is
off.
a really good point that you bring up.
And I mean, they're working really hard. They're working 7 days a week, which is way harder than any of the assholes that are bitching. They start early in the morning. They work late into the evening. They're working at 100 when it's 103 outside in Texas, when nobody else wants to be inside. I'm staying inside just like everybody else. They can afford to have them do it in the air conditioning while these guys are outside sweating, taking care of my grass, for God's sake.
You know what? This is a really, really good point. You're right. We are getting the best from those countries. The people that have the
Absolutely.
fortitude to do that.
Yes.
And think about the immigrants that we come from. Okay, so they had to get on a boat, cross the Atlantic Ocean, which was not
Wasn't a piece of cake.
not a
It
piece
wasn't
of cake.
like
So
half-
there was
yeah.
you had to leave your family knowing you
Yeah.
pretty much positive you're never going to see them again. Right? Came across
yeah,
the
they were
Atlantic
not gonna
Ocean,
see them
didn't know if you'd survive that
Yeah.
trip. Okay,
Yeah.
we were talking
Yeah.
1600s, 1700s, 1800s. There was no guarantee
Yeah.
on that. Didn't know where you were going to go or what was going to happen
Yeah.
there. That was tremendous. The best. You're right. It was a certain type of person,
Yeah.
very entrepreneurial
Yeah.
to do that. Right.
Yeah.
And you're right. So it's no different. The journey is the same harrowing
Yeah.
journey that our Irish, our German, our ancestors took in the 1700s, 1800s.
And all these people, when they come over, they know they're not going to be able to be. Let's say they're doctor or engineers back home. They don't think they're going to be able to slide into something like that here. They come over here and they wind up being laborers.
Whereas the Republicans would have you believe they're all coming over here and they're just going to be welfare queens. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
They didn't.
Well,
they
that's
would have.
the way
The
you-
welfare queens would have stayed home in the country they lived in.
Right. That's the way you whip up resentment and fear of the other. And, it's just like
Now let's go to the other side of the argument, because the argument will be, well, there's people in the line that came in this country legally. Why should people who came in illegally, get better treatment or whatever? And I don't think they are getting better. They're not. This thing that Obama.
What is their better treatment?
Yeah, they're not getting better treatment here. All they're going to do is get on the tax rolls, so they could actually contribute taxes. They're not getting a lot of benefits of citizenship here.
Well, don't you have to have a Social Security number to pay taxes?
Well, you're getting one with this work permit thing, yes. So they're getting that, but they're not getting health care.
No,
they're not getting.
Now they're not getting official health care. You get health care. If all you got to do is be bleeding or something and show up at an ER.
You can do that whether you're illegal or not, right?
Right, and you get if you're pregnant, you're getting ready to drop a baby, you show up at Parkland Hospital or any other county hospital, they're going to let you in. And what I would really like is for these people that are bitching about that, I would like for them to take turns bringing their lawn chair down there, volunteering, and they can sit at the entry of the ER. And they can be the one that checks these people's papers. And when somebody comes in when Dad comes in with having a heart attack, and he's got his family in tow, and all they want is somebody to stop the heart. I mean, to make sure his heart doesn't stop. They can sit there and say, "Well, I'm sorry, you can't come in." Because you can't prove that you're legal, and we don't do that here.
Right. It really reminds me of what side, the famous movie Las Miserables. What
hated that fucking movie.
I love that movie.
God, I hated that movie.
But the question is, who do you want to be? Jean Valjean? You know what? What side do you want to be? You want to be the guy that chases after Jean Valjean his whole life? I mean, I forget what his name was on that. I mean, because that's the mentality. Well, it's where you broke the law in that movie. He stole bread to feed his kids.
Yeah.
So they imprison him forever and chase him down for escaping or whatever.
Yeah.
There's that mentality. Is that who you really want to be in life?
Some people, yeah, they live I think people have a very black and white view of things, and a lot of the people that are bitching about immigrants, if you've gotten any kind of work done on your house, or if you have somebody mow your yard, if you think that they're being done by people that are not illegal, you're out of your mind.
Yeah. I think the people that have come to this country legally, which is not an easy thing to do.
No.
And to be quite honest, the people that there's a lot of Canadians here illegally. There are a lot of people
they're
from
living
Irish.
Quiet. We need to get after their asses.
Exactly. There's a bunch. This isn't all Mexicans here on this, or Latinos, or what have you. So I just, the people that are here on a legal path, I think, are still a step ahead of the people that aren't on an illegal path.
Oh, they're absolutely
they have
a step ahead.
More opportunities for more benefits. I think if you're illegal and now you get this work permit, you still got to go to the back of the line. And I know a little bit about this because I did go to Canada, right? And I applied.
Did you have to go to the back of the line?
I applied to become a dual citizen at one point.
Did you really?
I did. So I had to go through all that.
Now, what did they
paperwork.
They turned you down?
No, we ended up moving before the process completed.
Now, what? So you wanted to?
I was there on a work permit.
Yeah.
Right, so I was working for this company, McCann Erickson.
You can become a dual citizen with Canada?
You have to apply, and you have to prove that you have something that nobody else has. And being the national award-winning copywriter at the time, I had skills that no one else had, Michael. Yeah. But it's not an easy. It wasn't. There was you had to get a lawyer, and it was. You had to pay the things, and
so
it was a long, drawn-out process.
I'm a lumberjack. They go, you and 40 million others.
Right. So
but a copywriter, front of the line.
So I was at that time legal. I had a work permit, and I was going through the process of becoming a citizen. This was in 1990. Okay, then we left, but then in 1999 we came back because the company I was working with in Bellingham got owned by a company in Vancouver, and I was director of marketing, so they wanted me up in Vancouver. So I was living up there illegally. So I had been both a legal and an illegal resident of Canada at the time. And let me tell you, it's better to be legal.
Yeah.
So
what did they do to illegals up there
in Canada?
Yeah. Nothing.
I think you can't go to Tim Hortons.
What is Tim Hortons?
Is Tim Hortons?
There's Tim
Oh, my
Hortons.
God. Tim Hortons is like beyond Starbucks to America.
Oh, really?
It's a donut coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
With really,
Tim Hortons. I've never heard
really,
of that.
really great donuts. Anyway, no, it's a little joke, a little Canadian joke for our Canadian listeners. You couldn't go to Tim Hortons if you're illegal. No. So definitely there is a difference in this idea that, because I heard the argument last night that, now nobody's going to want to come to the country legally because why not just go illegal? It's a much easier route to go. That's not true.
Yeah.
It isn't. I mean, Obama's, what was the last one before this? Was George Bush the first. So that's how many years ago? Right? That's 15 years ago, 16 years ago since some form of amnesty, or whatever they want to call it, happened. So it takes about every 20 years this happens. So no, it isn't. It's better to be in line for the legal thing. The other thing that is being done on this immigration is, which is so common sense, is the people that come here to get an education can actually stay here afterwards. Gee, imagine that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to have a major impact.
Yeah, why would you kick a...
why did they ever do that? How did that
why
even
would you
get...
kick a college graduate who wants to work that hard out of the college,
After
out
they've
of
gone
the
through our
country,
school.
when you can't even get most of your own people
Hello. Yeah.
through?
So I think the Republicans are ready to go maybe all the way on this if they see the public support. I wonder if they're going to, try to impeach Obama for this?
I hope their heads
hope
start
they do.
spinning around and they start spitting pea soup.
They just
and
go Linda Blair exorcist on this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want them to go all the way?
Well, yeah. I mean, it makes. I mean, does that not make good copy and good video footage? And
I love it when they go crazy.
And Jon Stewart's just going, oh, yes.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. They're really upset. They're going to play the Emperor Obama card.
Oh, I think we're going to hear that more and more and more. I mean,
I got to say, I liking this new Obama here.
Yeah.
It's, I'm done. Fuck you guys. I've tried it enough, and I'm going to just, do what I need to do.
I mean, how many things like this could he do before
I hope
their
lot.
heads start spinning so fast that it just comes off and explodes? And
You should go for it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would absolutely.
Because they've got like 3 lawsuits on them already.
Yeah.
Let them just go absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I would say go for broke at this point. Just see how many things you can throw out there.
So what could Obama do that would just...
I mean, these people are having
How
trouble
about-
chewing gum and walking at the same time. How many things can you throw out?
How about a across-the-board pardon for everyone in jail on a marijuana charge?
Yes.
Let's do that one.
Yes.
That'll get
Oh, that would be
Republicans
good.
crazed.
Yeah, that would
And
be
I
good.
like some of these because actually 70% of the people,
Yeah.
if some of you sat down with the average person and explained what the immigration situation was, and they're behind it.
Yeah.
They just don't know that they're behind some of these
Well,
things.
I saw
so what
some-
else could Obama do to really...
I don't know, but I saw a piece of footage with my own eyes the other day. There was a guy who was police captain or something. And I think it was Ohio. And he was talking about illegal immigrants. And he said, when they come up here, they get a free laptop, and he goes on
Free
and on
laptop?
with this list of shit
Really?
that people are getting when they
They're getting a
cross
free
the
laptop?
border.
Like, is there a gift
to make
box?
it just work. I think it is. Welcome to the
Welcome
country.
to
It's
the
a
country.
gift box, yeah. And here's your
Here's your-
laptop and keys to a car and
Really?
some other kind of stuff. And
Wow.
he was just going through this list, and I was going, my God, there are people that are listening to this guy and believing
this was a
what he
radio
says.
guy or whatever?
No.
Media guy?
This guy was in his police uniform.
No way.
He was like a captain or something like that, and he was talking about this because there are people out there that'll see somebody like that in a position of authority, and they'll believe every fucking lie that comes out of their mouth.
Right.
Now, he may think it's the absolute truth.
Well, it could be true because, that you can't give away that Amazon Fire tablet.
Oh, so that's what it is. Oh,
There's
so
a big oversupply
Oh, okay.
of,
So what
of
they're
tablets
doing-
that
so
tried to
he's-
beat Apple and failed.
he's just confusing those tablets with laptops, thinking it's...
I think it
okay.
could be. Yeah, it could be given. You can't give those things away.
Oh, my God, there's just some ignorant sons of bitches out there, and it's just...
fear. Fear always.
Fear of
Fear is
what? Of
ignorance
what?
a lot of times.
What are they afraid of?
They're afraid of the other, and they're afraid of not being a majority.
That the other is going to do what?
That the other becomes powerful, that the other, as Obama has done, will go after them and will rule them.
Speaking of power, have you seen that? It almost looks like a class shot of all the Republican heads of the committees. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. Let me guess though. I'm going to guess they're white and they're old.
They're white old men.
Really?
I think
one
there's
woman?
one woman.
How many committee chairmen are there?
I don't. It looked like dozens, but
Really?
they're all. I mean, come on, look at that, folks, and just say, what is that? But see, that's
no colored people in there.
No,
people
but see,
of color?
that's what they use to create that fear, because all of a sudden there's somebody in there that's different, and we don't want that difference, because that difference pollutes that nice white pool of older men who are wise men.
Yeah.
And they're wearing suits. Those are the people that we want to lead us. Is that not right, Carl? Do we not want these older white men to lead us?
Christian white men. Hello. You forgot the Christian part.
Oh, God.
God-fearing white men.
So anyway.
I'm kind of disappointed in our generation a little bit, because we're now in the considered... Are we? I really hate to admit this.
Are we
considered
in
old men?
Are we in the driver's seat?
You're an old man. I'm still working my way up.
Yeah, so we're in the driver's seat? Or
I would think there should be more...
I don't think of myself in the driver's seat anymore.
Have you ever had that where you had a really good friend in childhood and you knew him inside and out?
Yeah.
And then now he's like a rabid Republican or whatever, and you go, what the hell happened along the way? What happens there along the way?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I'll tell you.
Of course, they'd look at me and say, I'm on a rabid left.
There's three of us that were roommates in college.
Yeah.
And two of us have stayed in touch throughout the years, and Tom's as close to a brother as I'll ever have, and we talk all the time. And then the other one, he married somebody, and she really didn't like Tom, and I thought we were bad influences on him.
Really?
So he kind of peeled away. But he's been starting to come back lately. His wife, they've got a divorce, and he's remarried, and he was talking the other day, and it was a few months ago. I don't know. Did I tell you about this? And so he calls up, and he had gotten laid off at, what is that big airplane thing in Fort Worth, McDonnell Douglas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He got laid off there right before he was going to get retired, which coincidence, and was pissed off about that and just bitter about everything. And he started going on and talking about how it was Obama's fault and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, and I'm not going to use the word, but he goes, I can't believe that we nominated that twice.
Use the N-word?
Yeah.
Really?
And I fucking went off on him. I said, you and I are never going to agree on anything. Do not call me again. I do not want to. Yeah.
You're done
and
with
this
them.
is somebody that had been a friend, and the thing is, at least he was upfront about it. Yeah. And that's not, he's upfront with his views, or at least it came out in the open. I think there are a lot of people that feel that way, that in closed company with like-minded individuals have no problem speaking that way.
Right.
But when it's out in the open, they don't. And you listen for the code talk, and it's there. You just got to hear it. You got to grow up with it like I did, and you hear it.
Right.
And so, yeah. Now, whether he's a rabid Republican or not, I don't have a clue. Imagine he is, thinking that, it's just like somebody was saying the other day. They were talking about, this war and all the other kind of shit and the finance, and they go, oh, so we would be better if McCain was in there. We would have been better if Romney was. No. They're not going to have done anything any different than what's been going on. Except McCain
Romney
would have
said
probably
he would deport everybody.
Huh?
So we'd be having mass deportations.
Oh, really?
That's what. Well, that was.
Where's he going to get the money for that? And where's he going to get the money?
That was such an unrealistic thing.
There's the money to deport him, which is the ticket cost, and then there's the money to get the people to round him up. And where are you going to get that?
Right.
And maybe he's going to get corporate sponsors.
Right.
This week's Roundup brought to you by Exxon.
Well, Amtrak.
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 Oh,
You gotta
Amtrak
have-
would
or
be
Greyhound bus.
Greyhound bus.
Got to bring them in the bus.
Yeah, but if you get all the people that ride on Greyhound out of the country,
Yeah.
deport them back, who's going to ride on Greyhound?
On the way back.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, they got the way back. Greyhound should be making some tracks there. No, and I want to say there is a price to pay to come here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it isn't the same track.
Yeah.
And
I would just like, I mean, the thing that's interesting is that so many people don't seem to be able to put themselves in the
that lack
others.
of empathy.
Yeah, they're a total lack of empathy. They're not able to sit down and don't even try to sit down and put themselves in their.
And here's the thing: if you don't have empathy, then you can't live by the golden rule.
I would
Thought
say
leadership,
that's,
Michael.
whoa, some bitch.
Seriously,
Some
if you don't,
bitch.
if
That's
you don't
good.
have
Repeat that, please.
If you don't have empathy, you can't live by the golden rule. You can't treat other people like you want to be treated because you don't get it. That doesn't connect. You can't make that connection.
We need to trademark that.
Really?
Yeah,
Our first trademark?
Yeah, I think it's for treatment.
There you go.
Yeah, we use that.
As a just a little taste of what you
We'll
get.
put
here.
them on buttons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I like it. Anyway, that's how I'm going to close on that one. I can't top it, so let's move on to another conversation.
God. Religion, politics, sex. We kind of hit on all.
Did we hit sex?
Yeah, with
What was
Viagra.
that? Oh, Viagra. We have done it again.
Yeah.
How is that possible that we hit all three within an hour?
I don't know. We did.
I'm feeling good
We're
about
getting
that.
better.
We are.
Do we have a sponsor this week?
Well, we talked. You made Viagra our sponsor for the week.
They did. We did make.
And I did a little
sponsor.
Costco thing, which we've done with.
Oh, and by the way, I got my hat from Duluth. Nita ordered me a hat. The hats are killer. It's a little cap, wool cap, and it's just.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, and it was
Ballroom jeans and Viagra.
Yeah, well, they also have T-shirts that I forgot to mention.
Do they have boner jeans?
Boner?
Jeans that if you
For
get a
boner?
boner, because you get a 4-hour thing, right?
No,
so you
but
need
see-
jeans for boners.
That would
With an extra pouch.
for junior high guys.
Yeah, you know,
some sort of.
uncontrollable boner jeans.
Yeah, that would be
That
good.
would be good, but
Yeah.
market probably hasn't been tapped.
No, but they have T-shirts that are a little bit longer. That they the copywriting on that is that they the cure for plumber's butt,
Yeah.
butt crack.
Oh,
So
I like
a little
that.
bit longer. Yeah, I mean it's perfect.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we should also talk about a couple things that we're doing that you might find on your podcast feed. One is the big question, which comes from our other little thing you may see on your podcast feed called 5 Questions in 5 Minutes. Maybe we should talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So 5 Questions, 5 Minutes is our attempt to answer 5 questions in 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And I like to call us, we're Dear Abby's twisted uncles.
Yes.
We'll use our sage advice from many years of being married, and
For the big questions.
and then yes. So
Yes.
let's tell them the difference. What's the big question,
Well,
Michael?
the big questions when we have people submit stuff or we come up with something on our own because nobody submitted anything, so we feel like we need to
submit your questions.
Yeah. And so one of them is, what was the one that Sam did? What does it mean to be a man? Or what
Yeah,
is
that's
it?
from Matt Redard,
Oh, Matt Regard. Okay. And then the other one, and
who's
that's
coming
gonna,
out with a podcast I might have mentioned,
yeah, that's going
Confidence
to be
Over Fear.
That's going to come out this week. And
So yeah, the big question is we go
Yeah.
deep on one question,
Yeah.
or we go shallow for a long period of time on one question.
and try and make you think that we're going deep.
Yes,
Whatever.
that's hard to
Anyway.
do.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, and then the other one is the Pope, and that's coming up. That's
Yes,
the
it's the Pope, the real deal.
yeah, or some sort of PR move.
Right.
And I think you could have it where it's people are thinking both ways. So
So the big question will be where we take one little topic, like we did today on immigration, but because on these 5 questions in 5 minutes things, a lot of times you can't answer a question in a minute
yeah,
with any depth. So
Yeah.
every once in a while we have questions from 5 questions in 5 minutes that we'll take
Yeah.
and go deeper,
Yeah.
which is called the big question.
Yeah, the big-
So I just want to kind of highlight because we're out there experimenting.
we are
We are
experimenting.
playing in the sandbox, if you will, And so Big Questions is coming out, and 5 questions for 5 minutes. And please...
Playing in the sandbox. I like that.
Yeah. So please send us your questions.
Yes.
And you can do that.
Okay, now here's the question right here. Do you know what this noise is?
That's your question?
That's a question.
We'd like a little deeper questions than that.
Straw on a plastic lid.
So yes, please send them to, and you can do that on our Facebook page, Carl and Mike, at Twitter, at Carl and Mike, on carlmike.net. You're getting a theme here. It's
You get and Carl started an Instagram thing.
No, I started Pinterest, Michael.
Oh, Pinterest.
We are on Pinterest now.
Oh, what are we going to put on Pinterest?
We're going to put the episode artwork.
Menus?
I'm putting it's a homage to you and your designing
I know,
ability.
but we got to have more stuff than that.
For Pinterest?
Yeah.
It's a chick thing, so I really don't know what Pinterest...
Things on how to decorate cakes, stuff like that.
Yeah. So we'll have Carl and Mike's Twisted...
What would be the man equivalent of decorating a cake?
What would be the man equivalent of decorating a cake? It would be, getting dressed for fishing.
I guess.
I don't know.
Putting decals on the car.
Yeah, maybe that.
Oh,
yes.
Speaking of that,
we are actually moving into foreign territory in Pinterest. And, because I do think it's 80% women. Women just go crazy for this.
Let's
if you
see
looked
what
at some
it
of these
takes to
boards,
get what would it take to get thrown off Pinterest? What kind of stuff? Well, besides the obvious, could we put on there that would make that people would go, no, you just can't
just
play
toss
in
us
this
out
box.
of Pinterest.
Yeah, you can't play in the sandbox.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
We'll try to figure it out, though.
Besides the obvious, we're not going to be putting porn or anything like that. But we're like...
I don't know if you can get a thought police on Pinterest.
I don't
know. But we're going to stick out like a sore thumb because we're not going to have, jewelry I wear or what have you. But you can do any board. You could do a board on your gardening.
Whoa.
A pissant board.
A pissant?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
So we'll figure something out. So check us out there, and thanks for hanging with us for 11 episodes. And
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Adios.
Peace.
Bye.